We're coming into the bottom of the hour. You're watching the Evening Edit on Fox Business. Look who's here. Former House Judiciary Chief Counsel Julian Epstein. It's good to have you on, sir. So we'd like your take on this. There are fights already breaking out in the House as Judiciary is teeing up its hearing July 12th with Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. Now, lawmakers are hammering his prosecution of former Trump as unconstitutional on First and Sixth Amendment violations. What do you think? Could Trump use this maybe in his appeal, this hearing, or what?
Well, I think this conviction will be reversed on appeal. I think it was a horrible prosecution, an abusive prosecution. One of the main things, Liz, that the American Revolution got rid of was the Star Chamber, which is what the British Crown used to prosecute its adversaries. They stripped defendants of all rights, and was essentially what the monarchy used to basically persecute people they didn't like. This was a Star Chamber that prosecuted Donald Trump. He was never properly informed of the charges. NDAs are neither illegal nor are they reportable under the federal campaign laws. The jury was not required to have a unanimous verdict. Instead, they could pick from a Chinese menu of possible violations.
For the underlying charge to support the felony.
The bookkeeping attempt had to be attached to some other offense that he was never informed which offense that was in order to take a offense that had expired under the statute of limitations, the bookkeeping offense, and transmogrify it into a felony. It was a completely abusive prosecution. You know, when I was chief counsel, Liz, of the Judiciary Committee during the Clinton impeachment, the primary argument the Democrats made was this was a selective prosecution, and the case Ken Starr tried to make against Bill Clinton would have never been brought against anyone else given the circumstances, given the legal and factual circumstances. This is exactly the case that happened in Trump. There has never been a jury that has tried a defendant for a federal election campaign violation because of a non-disclosure agreement or because of hush money. There has never been a case like this where a deeply conflicted district attorney who campaigned on going after Trump. You know, this is Joe Stalin. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. He campaigned against going after Trump, and then he brought a case. Again, the statute of limitations had expired. He brought a case on a completely unprecedented, mangling or attempt to put together these sort of disconnected legal theories that have never been tried before. This case will almost certainly be reversed on appeal. And what I'm offended by, Liz, is that more Democrats are not standing up for what's right, which was this is an abusive prosecution. And they're not standing up for what's right because they don't like Donald Trump. And that's wrong. That's where our democracy starts to fall apart.
Yeah, that's when it gets twisted. So let's get your reaction to the fighting between Congressman Matt Gaetz and Jerry Nadler. And also watch Congressman Thomas Massie ask, why aren't Congress's $17 million in hush money payments also campaign finance violations? Take a listen to this.
It's a little absurd, because Mr. Bragg and Mr. Colangelo have already agreed to appear before the committee on July 12th.
Well, Mr. Chairman, this debate's out of order.
You made a motion. It's not out of order.
No, you have to seek recognition. I've made a motion to subpoena these people now, pursuant to the rules, and I want to vote on my motion, or I want someone to move to table it.
Congress has paid over $17 million in hush money for sexual misconduct inside of the offices in these buildings. And what's more is that was taxpayer money, right? The allegation is that President Trump paid $130,000 of his own money. Who in here has had the taxpayer pay for their sexual misconduct charges the hush money? I bet there's some over there. There may be some over here. I don't know, but I do know it's taxpayer money, and I do know not a single penny of it has been turned in as a campaign finance expense. Is the FEC going to investigate the $17 million that Congress has paid to settle, behind closed doors these sexual misconduct allegations? So the irony here is this is going to be vacated, and this trial was all about trying to influence an election.
Julian, your reaction. We should point out it wasn't just for sexual misconduct allegations. It was also for workplace discrimination. Your reaction to what you just heard.
Well, there were two issues there. I think what Gates is trying to do is an insurance package, an insurance guarantee that Colangelo and Bragg actually show up on July 12th. What Jim Jordan's position is that's not necessary because they've agreed to do it. Jordan is probably correct on that. As soon as you introduce a subpoena, the local DA can clam up and go into litigation. Once you have an agreement, it's probably the best and most efficient way to ensure that they get there. So they've got good attorneys on the Judiciary Committee, Democrat and Republican, and Gates would be well advised to take their lead.
Julian Epstein, thank you so much. It's good to see you.
Liz, thanks for having me.